back to the channel Ruchi's Teaching. This is Ruchi here. In this video I am going to explain about the basic structure of the C program. So till now we have discussed about the features, applications, introduction, all those things. Now today we will be discussing about the structure of the C program. Now this structure, in this structure of the C program, we have different sections. Now according to the sections I will be explaining. Okay, before starting my video, I would like to say that please, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe the channel, and after watching the video, if you like it, please give a like to it and share to the friends. Okay then, and don't forget to comment. Okay, let's start the class. Now in this structure of the C program, you have different sections. In that different section, first section is documentation section. So our in our structure of the program, C program, the first section is the documentation section, where these are written in the form of comments. So actually, when you write a program, suppose a programmer is writing a program. Now for a programmer, whatever he writes, he will understand it properly. Suppose after writing the program, if you want to show to another programmer, or if you want to show to the user or to anybody, that programmer, by seeing that program, he has to understand it. To understand properly, he has to just first, if he go through that comments which are given for that particular program in the starting, when you before you start the program, you will be giving some suggestions, like you will call it as comments. So those comments, if you just check that comment, you will understand what is the program, for what purpose you are using the program, you are writing the program, and what is the output you are going to get this with this program. So for that purpose, to make the person who sees or who watches the program, he has to understand it easily. So for that purpose, you have to write the documentation section. What is the documentation section? I have said you. Now in that, what you have to write, what you have to include in that documentation section is, first one is name of the program. Name of the program, right? And name of the author or a programmer who has written this program, his name. Okay, and date of the program, when you have date of the program, and when you have the date and time of the program, like when you have written that program, and description of the program, what is the goal of this program. Okay, description of the program. So, or description of the goal, you can say, like, so description of the program. So all these things, name of the program, name of the programmer, date of the program, and description of the program. Here only you can include a time also, date and time of the program. So in this way, you have to mention the names of that particular program. Okay, after mentioning, now think that you have written a program. In that, above that, before you start the program, you will be writing all these things and you will start the program. But whatever you are writing in this documentation section, the compiler will not compile that particular lines. So these lines are not compiled by the compiler. How? If you have given for this, to make the compiler not to compile, that means the compiler has to ignore these sentences, ignore these statements. So to do that, you have to give a comment lines. Okay, you will call it as comments. You will call these statements as the comments. Okay, these comments you will call it as comments in C program. Now, how you will understand whether these are comments or they are connected with the program or they are statements of the program? You have to, how you will recognize is with this uh, thing. Okay, sorry, not like this, slash, forward slash and asterisk, and this is the beginning of the comment, and after this comment you will write the statement, and then what you have to do is slash star asterisk. Okay, like this. Okay, this is the beginning of the comment and this is the end of the comment. So if you mention like this before you start your comment section or documentation section, before you start you have to just give here like this, and after ending of these statements comments you have to end up like this. Then if you, after you give this, what compiler does is compiler ignores these statements. Okay, compiler ignores these statements and it will start compiling the program which is at the below, at the bottom of these comments. Okay, from the bottom of these comments, whatever program has written, from that statement the compiler starts compiling. So when you give these comments signs, beginning point and end point, it will not compile the statement. So that means these statements are for only our purpose, for us to understand what is the program, what is the goal of the program, who has written this program, all those things you can check it out with these comments. Okay, now comments are of two types. I think you have understood this: name of the program, name of the programmer, date and time of the program, description of the program, or goal which you are writing, which you have idea for that particular program. Okay, so all these are included in the documentation section. Now I will tell you there are two types of comments. How you have to write comments is, there are two types of comments. They are single line comments. Single line comments will be like this. So this is the single line comments, and multiple comments, multi-line comments will be like this. Multi-line comments will be like this. So how many statements you want to add, you can add that many statements, and then you have to give like this: asterisk, forward slash, asterisk, and here also first asterisk then forward slash. Okay, this is the way how you will write the comments. If it is a single line one, you have to write like this. If it is a multi-line comments, you have to give the comments like this. Okay. For example, I will write one program, not a program, but I will write the comments and I will show you. Okay, sample program I am writing. How you have to write, what all you have to include in this documentation section I am going to say. Now comments you have to start like this. Now program name, this is for example. Okay, program name will be like this: sample.c. program name is like that. Okay, next author name or programmer name. Okay, You can write author name. That means author name is the person who writes the particular program, any name. Okay. Next is program. Already program name I have given, author name. Now I am going to mention date. Okay, date, any date. Okay, next time. Next description. Description is like, suppose description of what you are giving, description of your program, description of your goal in that particular program. Suppose if you want to print what program does, what output that program is going to give, that output you have to mention here. It will print or printing a multiplication table. Okay, you have to write all these things, then you have to close the comments. Right? If you write like this compiler, actually what all I have written, this is the way how you will write the documentation section. So the compiler, from beginning of the comment section, ending of the comment section, it will just ignore. It will not compile the this one statements. Okay. Okay, friends, now this comments in the comment section, what I said is, this is the beginning of the comments, and after some lines, a statement, one statement or two statements or three, this is called multi-line comments. And here when you close here, this is called begin of the comment section, this is called the end of the comment section. So these two you will call as delimiters. Okay, so this is all about the comment section. Now we'll be going to the second section called linker section. Called link section or preprocessor directive section. Second section is called link section or preprocessor directive section or header file section. Now this is very important section in our program, because if you don't have this section in the program, our program is not going to work. Why? Because here, can you see here, header file section I said. What is the meaning of header file section? Now you are writing one program. When you are writing one program, you will be having some predefined built-in function. You will be using some functions in that. For example, you will be using print function. What is the generally I am saying print means, by seeing this word only you can understand that it will print something. Okay, it will print. Scan means scanf function also is there. It will read the particular input or output, whatever it has. Okay, these two functions, not only these two functions, there are many built-in functions. Already we have studied about built-in functions in our previous classes, that already C has some built-in functions. So these built-in functions, where they are present, or in which place these built-in functions are there. These built-in functions are present in the header files, right? These header files. That's why you will call it as a link section or a header file section. That means you have to link your program to the header files, then only it will whatever. Now suppose if I give this printf function in my program, this function, if you don't link this header file to this program, that particular what to say function is not available, it will give the error, some error it will throw. Okay, so because of that reason, if you don't give header files, or if you don't use this link section, the program is not going to work. Okay, like that there are, I will tell you about the functions just in small 1 minute I will explain. If in further classes I will explain it clearly. Now I said functions are of two types. Now built-in functions are present in this header file. Now there are user-defined functions. Now what are user-defined functions? User-defined functions are those functions which are created by the user. Which user creates, those functions are called user-defined functions. Like suppose if a programmer wants to use any function, his own function, like any logic, any small logic he wants to write, if he wants to use in the program, he will create one function like adding two numbers, or subtracting two numbers, or multiplication of the numbers. Like that, if he want to write any function, he can write his own function and he can use in the program also. Those type of functions are called user defined functions. And these built-in functions are, just now I said, no, print function, printf, scanf, and there is strlen function, that means string length function. So these files are, all these functions are present in the header file. So what happens is, now how you are going to link, that is a question here. I said that these functions are present in the header file. Now you will be using all these functions. Now, but how will you use those header files? To work the program, you have to give a link to your program. So how you are going to give the link is, you understood, no? This one built-in function, user defined function. This is created by the user and these are already present in our header file. Till this you understood. Now I am going to explain remaining. Now I said you have to give a link. How you are going to give the link? I will tell you. Now I said header file function. There are some header files. Like hash include stdio.h. This is one of the header file. Right. Now what is the use of this header file? What type of functions are present in this header file? I am going to say now. Now as you see this, here I input, output, header file. Right. I means input, O means output, header file. That means in this header file you have printf function, scanf function. Okay. So when you use these functions in your program, these functions are taken from these header file. So this is one of the header file you have to mention in the link section. That means when you include this header file, or when you mention this header file in this section, automatically the program is connected to this header files. So this section acts or connects the program and the header file, right? Now one more header file is there, hash include string.h, right? String.h, you have to mention like this. So this is one of the header file where you have, just now I wrote one function strlen. This type of functions are stored in the string.h header files. So you have, see, it depends on your program. Now what type of program you are writing? You are writing only input output, or are you writing any strings, you are using any strings in that. So according to your program, you have to give the header files in the link section. That means in the second section of the program, you have to mention the header file names. Then only the program is connected to the header files. Otherwise your program is not going to work. That means it will give the errors saying that so and so functions are not available. Okay, okay, understood? This is about the header files. Okay, like linker section, I said linker, this is the linker section. So how it's going to connect the link, connect the program. Now when you write a program, the program is changed to the low level, high level program is changed to the low level program, which is called object code. Now this object code, after changing to the object code, that is machine language, then this is connected to the header file section. That this moment the object code is connected to the header file. Okay, third section is definition section. Now what is a definition section? Now in this section you are going to maintain a value constant. That means when you will use this section is, suppose if you want to maintain like suppose you have given a variable and you have assigned one value to it, one value to that particular variable, and you don't want to change that particular value. That means you want to maintain that value constantly, like if you want to make it a constant. So at that moment, that means suppose in the program, in the middle of the program, if you want to change the value also, you cannot change. If you give that type of value in the definition section, it maintains the value constant. So you to use that type of values or to use for that type of specific purpose, you will be using the definition section. Now here how you have to give is, this is the third section of our program. Now how you have to use it is asterisk, right? Define. After linker section you have to give this section. This is the third section. You have to use this type of words in the third section. Define what you want to use. Okay, what you want to use, what type. Like for example, I will take pi. You all know pi has the value of 3.14. So you want to maintain that value constantly throughout the program. For that purpose, you will be using that particular value or that particular variable in the define section. For that, what you will call is define asterisk define, which is also called as macros, and these will be written in the symbolic constants. Okay, example I will tell you. Symbolic constants. How? See, define, you will be writing the example I am telling, you will be writing in this way. Asterisk define pi. You will be, one more thing is, you are going to use only capital letters for this define section. Okay, definition section. So here I am using pi, P capital I capital, and to this variable, this is a variable I am using, to this variable I am assigning 3.14. Okay, 3.14 I am assigning to this variable. This is the variable pi, that is pi, and that one I have written in the capital letters. This is compulsory, and then you are assigning this particular value to this. Now what happens is, if you mention like this first only before you start the program, this value will not be changed in the program. Suppose if you want to if by mistakenly if you change, if you write some other number to that particular value variable, that particular variable, automatically it gives the error. Now I will write a small program, just a simple one. I'm just showing, I'm not writing any program. See, main function, and I have started I have opened the curly braces and I have written some statements. Think that I have written some statement, and here suppose if I give pi equal to 4.5 or something, and I am closing this. During compilation, it shows the error saying that in this area something has gone wrong, right? So like this error will come. So error is thrown in this place saying that some different value has been assigned to the pipe. Okay, if you mention this type of thing in the definition section, right? So this is about the definition section. Okay, global declaration section. Okay, in this global declaration section, by that word only you can understand global. Global means what? Which is outside the program. That means when you declare a variable globally, that means you will be declaring the variables. Not only variables you can declare, even functions also you can declare in global. So that means suppose if you are declaring something globally, that whatever it is, variable or any function, that can be used in the program and outside the program also. That means outside the program is nothing but it in different function also you can use the particular variable. That means if it is global variable, then you can use it in your program and as well as outside the program. Outside the program in the sense different function, another function. Okay, now how you have to declare globally, I will tell you. Now generally declaration part like variables, mostly variables we will declare in the declaration part. Now when you are declaring, you can declare in two ways. One is local and other one is global, right? Now local are the variables which are declared in the program. Declared in the program, right? And these are declared outside the program. Okay, so this is the difference. Now inside the program is local and outside the program. That means when you are declaring the variable locally inside the program, the variable works in that program only, and if you are declaring globally, that you can use it in outside the program also. I will write one example. Now I will write a small program. Now this is the main function. This is the program I am writing. Now whenever you start a program, compulsory main function should be there, and after starting that after giving this, you have to compulsory write this braces. This is the beginning of the program. Now here you will be first thing what you have to do is you have to declare a variable int a equal to 10, right? And you are writing some statements and you are closing. Now this type of declaration is called local declaration, local variables. So local variable declaration. Now I said local variable. Now how you are going to declare globally? Globally is before the main function, like this, int x equal to 5. Okay, when you declare like this, this is called as global declaration. Okay, you will call it as global declaration. That means this declared variable can be used here, and as well as this can be used outside the program also. Outside the program in the sense is, suppose I am writing one function like add function I am writing. Okay, and here in this program you can use this, suppose a plus b, c equal to a plus b, printf just I am writing a small one. Now this variable you can use it with in this program, and as well as this variable can be used here also. That means when you are declaring globally, this globally declared variable can be used by the program and outside the program. Your program is ending here, understood? Your program is ending here, but you are writing a function outside the program. So even this function can use this variable. How? Like this. Suppose if I give c equal to a plus x, int c comma a, okay. If I declare like this x can be taken from here, okay, understood? So this is the way how you can declare the variables, okay. Global, I said you can declare variables and as well as functions in the even globally you can declare, and as well as variables also you can declare, functions also you can declare globally. Now just now I have said about the variables. Now I am going to tell about the functions, how you have to declare globally. Now how I have said how to write the program. See, you will be writing the program like this, and you have declared some number, okay. So this is the program. Now suppose if this is called as function, definition. This is called as definition. You will call this as definition, okay. This program is called as definition, and I said globally you can declare even functions also. So how to declare function declaration is int add. Suppose now I am writing add function, like add function I am declaring globally. Int add like this, and comma, compulsory semicolon should be there. So this is how you will be declaring functions. So function declaration, okay, this is the function declaration, okay, understood? So how you are declaring function declaration is a global function declaration. This is, you are not declaring inside the program, you are declaring outside the program. So that is called as global function declaration, and global variable declaration also I have explained. So this is this program, this is called as definition, and this is called as declaration. Now when you are writing add like function, you should not write the semicolon for the definition. Now suppose here I am writing the function of this one function I am writing. Here I have declared a function, here I am writing the definition of the function, okay. Executable part I am writing here, this one will be executed. Here I am declaring it, okay. Here I am declaring it, and you have to write compulsory return here. Whatever answer or output you want to give, that one will be coming here, okay. It will return the value. So this is the declaration part, this is the definition part, and this is the definition part, right? Main function section, okay. This is the main part of our program, okay. If without this section there is nothing, it's not a program, okay. The main part of our program is this is the main part, okay. This is the main part of our program. Now here I will write a small just a sample program. Now see, main function compulsory, without this function our program is not going to work, okay. Now for that you have to write main function like this, open the braces, this is the starting of the program. Now here I will be telling you declaration part and the executing part. How will be the declaration part will be there, and how will be the executable part. Now declaration part will be like this, int a, b, c, okay. So always when you are declaring something, you have to compulsory keep the semicolon like this. So this is called a declaration part. Okay, this is called the declaration part. And now executable part is A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Like this compulsory you have to give C equal to A plus B. Now what will be the answer? Now what you have to write is printf B, which is called C. Okay. You can write like this. I thought of giving only the answer for you for understanding purpose. The sum is like this. Okay. Semicolon. Now close the bracket. Now what is happening here? I am opening the braces. Here I have declared, this is a declaration part, and from here till here, that means from here to here, this is called executable part. Okay, this is called executable part. So our main function has two parts, declaration part and the executable part. After declaring, those variables are taken here for the processing, and then answer will be given out. So this is the main functions. Okay, sixth one is subprogram or user defined definition, functions definitions. Okay, user defined functions, subprogram or user defined functions. Now this is called the sixth section. Now in this section, with this word only you can understand is subprogram. What is a subprogram? Already we have discussed earlier in our classes that in procedural, our C language is a procedural programming language. Now at that moment we have discussed about the modules, like a larger program can be divided into different smaller modules. So here what is happening, a big program is divided into sub-programs. This sub-program is nothing but the user defined functions. Okay, user defined functions. That means in this class also I have discussed in the first section, I think, not first section, when I am explaining about the variables and global declaration. At that moment I have discussed about the functions. So there are built-in functions and user defined functions. So this is nothing but the same thing I am explaining here now. User defined functions. What is user defined functions? Now for example, suppose you are writing one program. Now that program is very big. You don't want to write everything in that small program. So when you don't want to write everything in that small program, you have to divide the program into smaller chunks or smaller modules or smaller functions or smaller sub-programs. So that's what is the sub-program here. Now what we will do is, suppose you are writing a program saying if you want to add some two numbers. Already you have rewritten one program in the main function, and again you want to write one more function. In that you want to add or subtract or multiplication. Suppose you are writing one main function, main program. In that you have declared everything, and whatever input you want to ask, you can ask in that. Next, a function should be written for adding. Suppose if you want to write a function for adding, if you want to add the two numbers, you should write one function, add function. If you want to subtract the two numbers, input numbers, then you have to write one subtraction function. If you want to divide the two numbers which you have with the user, when the user gives, that one also you can do with the divide function. So like this, add function, subtraction function, divide function, you can write differently. So different functions you can mention. These are nothing but the sub programs. Now I am going to write one program, a small sample program. You just observe. Now before starting a program, compulsory you have to declare that function. What all? Declare the function. Globally you have to declare. See, now I am writing a main function, main, like this, and I have opened the curly braces. I have written some int, okay, and I have written some statements, and I have closed the curly braces. And before this is what definition, here I am giving the function declaration. Now that to function declaration I want to use, or I want to subtract. Just this is for example I am saying, not a program. Now how you have to declare it also I have just now said in the sections. So int subtraction, int a comma int b, close it, and here with semicolon I have to say that it is a function declaration part. Now this function, this is the function I am declaring here. Now this function I am going to write after the program. So this is the program which I am writing here now is nothing but the subprogram. So this is also a section of the structure of the C program, right? Now here how I will write the program, you see how I will write a sub-program or user-defined function. You will call this program as a user-defined function or the sub-program. Now subtraction, and like this, and open the braces, and whatever you want to give you can give here. Int a comma a equal to 5, b equal to 1, semicolon, and first only you have to declare c equal to a minus b. Okay, now return the value. This is a program, right? Now what's happening here? You are returning this answer C. Here what happens is you have to call this program here. You have to call this program here, right? Now you have to calling and all I will discuss in further classes, but till now you just understand what is happening here. This is the function declaration. And this is the definition. And this is the, what is this? This is the sub-program or user-defined function. Okay, so these are the user-defined functions. These programs will not be there in the library. We have to write the programs. So by this you have understood, I think. This is the function declaration, this is the definition, and this is the function which you have declared your executable part you are writing here. So this is called the subprogram. So, and I think you have understood, this is called subprogram user-defined function. So with this 6 sections I have completed. Basic structure of C program is having all these sections. So which is important and which is not so important, I am going to explain. Say that. Now documentation section is just suggestions for the user or the programmer. Okay, so if you give that suggestions, then only a programmer can understand it properly. What is the purpose of the program or use of the program? Okay, next is the linker section. This is mandatory. Okay, this is mandatory, compulsory. Without that our program is not going to work. Okay, next is a definition section. This is optional, right? This is optional. That means if you want to give here, or if you don't want to give also, no problem, you can use in the middle of the program. Now global declaration is also optional, even you can declare in the program. Now main function section is a mandatory. Okay, Very important. Without that main function, your program is not going to work. Next sub-program or user-defined section is optional again. Okay, you can give, or if you want to give, or if you don't want to give also, no problem. Okay, so all these things I have covered in this main basic structure of the C program.